Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the fourth race of the season here in the Wawa Pro Series. We are here for the Indy 100k, a 25-lap event here around the world's greatest racetrack, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's going to be about a 62-mile event here today. It should be a fun one, and passing's going to be difficult as well. As we saw yesterday in the sprint race, Logan Williams, the winner of that 9-lap sprint race, led every single lap. But the thing that sprint race did not have, that this race will have, is live pit stops. And we'll have to see. They may happen under caution. We could end up with a wreck. But if this race does stay green, expect about a 15-lap fuel run for these drivers here today in this fourth race of the season. We're still very early on in the season, though, so we really have yet to see anyone really stand out, maybe with the exception of Will Parrish, who's the only driver who has finished top 10 and received championship points in each feature race so far this season. He comes into this race the points leader with 36 total points. William Brock only 5 points behind him. He's also been very consistent with 2 top 10 finishes on the season, and Logan Williams jumps to third in the points with a tie with Jesse Turner. They are both 9 points behind coming into this event after yesterday's sprint race. And then Noah Clifton tied with Dylan Young, 2 of the past winners of the season who have not received any championship points, with the exception of their 2 race victories. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the rest of the season shakes out with 12 races left to go. And this is kind of a big wild card race as well. However, a lot of the guys that are starting up front here may end up finishing there as well. It's kind of the first race so far this season that's really, truly been like that, where passing is very difficult. And not only that, the next race we're going to have at Willow Springs, the road course, is probably going to have that same effect as well. If you saw the sprint race yesterday, you saw that Trey Wright won the pole with the fastest lap in that sprint race. He'll be starting alongside Ryan Durrani there in row number 1. Row number 2 sees Nathan Stapleton, the Indiana native, to the inside of Nathan Orman. Nathan Orman's been pretty good in those sprint races, qualifying up front, but he hasn't really been able to translate that to anything in the feature races yet this season. You got Noah Clifton and Vlad Prescott there in row number 3. There's Jesse Turner now. This is a big race for Jesse Turner. We mentioned yesterday in the sprint race that Jesse Turner is 1 win away from becoming the all-time winningest driver on the channel with 22 career wins. He almost won that sprint race yesterday. He's looking to possibly win this Indy 100k to get that 22nd career win. Of course, he's the winner of the last race here in the Wawa Pro Series at Homestead, so he's coming in with a little bit of firepower into this one. Zach Winkle alongside him there in row number 4. You got Nathan Faden and William Brock in row number 5. Brandon Nelson, Brennan Wilmington make up the first half of the field. The winner of the sprint race yesterday, Logan Williams, was 13th quickest on the charts. He's to the inside of Dylan Young. Hunter Braxton and Dan Park make up row number 8. You got Thomas Troxel, Christian Master in row 9. Ethan Lewis, Zachary Fitzwater in row number 10. Chris Reynolds, Priya McShane in row 11. Will Parrish, our points leader, to the inside of Seth Cole in the final row. But it was Trey Wright. Bit of a surprise right there. Only 1 point on the season for Trey Wright so far. And that was actually a 10th place finish last week at Homestead. Will Trey Wright be able to get his first win in quite some time here on the channel? Just going to have to find out and see. Ryan Durrani was very strong last weekend out at Homestead. He has 18 points towards the championship, and theoretically could take the points lead if things fall a certain way. Even with Will Parrish starting deep in the field, whoever wins this race might very well end up becoming the points leader heading into Willow Springs. Pace car's going to pull off here. Trey Wright and Ryan Durrani are going to lead us to the green flag here in this 25-lap event, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We're ready to get this one started as they come across the outer bricks. We're underway in the Indy 100k. lap 1 is going to be led by Trey Wright. And of course, in yesterday's event, Logan Williams led every single lap, but that was only a 9-lap race. This one here, 25 laps and a pit stop. That will be necessary as well. Nathan Stapleton there in second. Great run for him, and Ryan Arani started on the outside pole. He is comfortably in the 3rd position with Noah Clifton, Nathan Orman up here. Jesse Turner kind of falling back here in the number 17 machine as he's stuck in that outside lane. Hunter Braxton moving up very well at the start of this race. Bit of a mess back here, and there is a possibility of a wreck. I mean, there always is, of course, when you come to any of these races, but they go 3 wide here. Sometimes it doesn't work out. We did see a couple of quick 3 wide instances in yesterday's sprint race, but thankfully none of those transpired into accidents. And it's been a very clean season for these guys as well, maybe with the exception of that big wreck at the end of Daytona. That was a bit of a mess. We almost got through that race without a caution. And it actually technically was a caution-free race for winner Noah Clifton, who ended up beating William Brock at the line in that one. Top 3 have pulled away significantly here, and that is the interesting thing about this place. You want to start up front here in Indianapolis if you're going to have a good shot at race victory. It's not a traditional super speedway where you can loop your way all the way to the front. This is really one of the first races we've had this season where it's truly like that. New Smyrna had a little bit of that, but that place is crazy enough where they can kind of move their way through the field. Here you really have to earn it, and we're really going to see the stars shine here in this one here today. Ryan Arani getting some help there from Nathan Orman, looking to take second away from Nathan Stapleton, and Arani is going to take it away. Ryan Arani has had a pretty decent season so far. Was very dominant in that event at Homestead last week, but unable to come home with the race victory over there. Zach Winkle, Noah Clifton moving their ways through the field. Here's Nathan Orman, who won the sprint race at Homestead last week. So he does have a race victory under his belt. Officially the first winner of the year on the channel. So a pretty big honor right there for Nathan Orman. But all this battling for second is allowing Trey Wright to pull away with this race lead. Also, keep in mind, there is a bonus point to the fastest lap as long as that driver finishes inside the top 10. And right now, Hunter Braxton is holding on to that position. I believe he grabbed the fastest lap over at New Smyrna earlier in the season as well. But that has changed again as Jesse Turner has taken it away. But at the moment, Jesse Turner is not inside the top 10. Battle for second, Nathan Ormond and Noah Clifton there. You can see about a 7/10 of a second lead. There's Thomas Troxel, just hit the outside wall off of turn number 2. Not a good move right there, and this is a relatively home track race for Thomas Troxel as well. Cincinnati native right there. But that did not work out too well for Troxel, and he's going to lose a little bit of ground. Ethan Lewis right behind him there, Christian Master. And we got some guys this season have just simply not been up front that much. Zachary Fitzwater and Priya McShane, the only 2 drivers without any championship points this season. And then if you add Dan Park to that list, they're the only 3 drivers who have yet to receive championship points in a feature event. It's a mess back here, but how about Logan Williams moving himself up to the 4th position? Top 3 have pulled away significantly right here, and Nathan Orman is all over the back bumper of Trey Wright for the race lead. Now Ryan Arani looking to close back in, and Jesse Turner making some moves as well. Looks like he's found his stride again, as he's going to look to move to the inside of Logan Williams for the race lead, however. Nathan Orman with a good run there on Trey Wright, and Noah Clifton looking to get his 2nd win of the season. Noah Clifton's only points have come with his race victory at Daytona a few weeks ago. But now he's in position to possibly win this race. But Nathan Orman looking to finally get something that go his way in a feature event. Only 7 points on the season so far for Nathan Orman, but he could add to that here today with possibly 25 points. And the way things are right now, 26 points as he currently holds the fastest lap. So definitely the top 3 seem to have a bit of superiority on the rest of the field right now. Trey Wright going to look to the inside of Noah Clifton here. That is for the 2nd position. Got Durrani here, Jesse Turner, Logan Williams. They're all kind of in a line. As long as I say single file, they will close up on these guys, especially if these guys continue the battle on for 2nd here. Trey Wright trying to take that position back away from Noah Clifton. That's a 3-point swing right there, so definitely a very significant position, but not as significant as the 7-point swing from the lead to 2nd place. So Each point matters in this series. You never know what the situation's going to be once we get to the finale at Darlington, which at the rate things are going is probably going to be sometime in April. As we have a caution on the racetrack and a wreck. Somebody's in the wall, and more carnage. Hunter Braxton, Ethan Lewis, Christian Master all pile in. Dylan Young, and it's Troxel again, who was up in the fence. Not literally in the fence, but in the wall, and that will trigger the first caution of the day here in the Indy 100k. Brandon Nelson's all destroyed. Christian Master, Dylan Young. A lot of guys who don't have many points this season. Hunter Braxton's got a few, but that's going to hurt him in the championship standings. And Ethan Lewis, it's been a very difficult season here for the number 20 machine. Nathan Orman wins the race back to the line. And this is going to give an opportunity to all these guys now who do not have damaged race cars to have a shot at the race victory, because these top three had pulled away significantly on the field. All that is erased with this caution right here. Not only that, what this caution is going to do is going to put us right at the window of being able to make it to the end of the race at a 15-lap fuel run for these guys. And we're going across the yard of bricks with 16 laps to go, and these guys come in to make their pit stops. However, with the caution laps, you may see some guys be able to stretch it to the end. So this could get really interesting here in this Indy 100k in this fourth race of the season. I have a good feeling about Turner today, though. He's found his stride. He's actually really been good all season. It's just been a wreck and a mechanical failure that put him in last at the first two races of the season. But if those events did not happen, he could very well be coming into this race the points leader. Of course, he grabbed 2 points yesterday in the sprint race, so that's going to help him in terms of the championship. We'll see if his pit crew can help him here with a good pit stop. Should be a 4-tire stop for all these guys. And now the field's going to be significantly smaller than it was, because not all these guys are going to be able to continue here after this one. You got Seth Cole with damage there. Zach Winkle's got a buckle. So does William Brock. A lot of guys in the back trying to avoid Thomas Troxel. Just could not do it. And you know, it actually might have been Dan Park who was up in the wall there, because I never saw him and never saw Fitzwater, and they're both down the pit lane. This was a big wreck that we just had. A takeout. Nearly half the field, and we only have 24 guys out here. Oh, and contact on the pit lane there between Trey Wright and Nathan Ormond. That doesn't look like it was too significant to affect anything, but that could affect something if they're not careful. Yeah, Trey Wright here, who is going to go 2 tires and take the race lead away from Nathan Ormond. Vlad Prescott also going 2 tires. I think a lot of these guys going 2 tires, but some guys were just able to do it faster than others. Durrani still in his pit stall. He's going to lose a ton of ground right there. An issue on the 41 machine. Nathan Stapleton was already at the back of the field, and Durrani is going to go to the back of the field after that slow stop right there. But it's Trey Wright who won the race off the pit lane, and Vlad Prescott up to second. Nathan Ormond in third. Noah Clifton, Brennan Wilmington, Logan Williams, Jesse Turner, Nathan Faden, Will Parrish, and Priya McShane looking to get her first points of the season. Fitzwater involved in this accident. He will continue to go without any points. Ethan Lewis on the tail end, I do believe, of the lead lap currently, and I don't know if he's going to get out of the way either, so that could get kind of interesting on the restart. Trey Wright is the race leader. Let's go ahead and see what happened to bring out the first caution of the day here in the Indy 100k at Indianapolis. And this was an ugly one right here. Will Parrish, points leader, gets in the Dan Park. The guy who was pointed in every race, taking out a guy who was yet to point in a feature race this season. And in return, Dan Park's actually going to come back up the racetrack. It has a hard hit to the barrier, and we see that type of wreck here quite often, especially in the Indy 250. It's a common type of wreck. McShane's going to barely avoid this one, but Fitzwater, the other driver, who is yet to receive any points. Those are 3 guys right there. All of them had yet to receive any championship points in the feature race. Fitzwater's done. Dan Park's going to be done, and Hunter Braxton, see the damage he had, is Troxel had to check up and avoid. And then right here, William Brock kind of pushes up in the master. Brandon Nelson, Ethan Lewis there as well. Dylan Young nowhere to go. Chris Reynolds, I think, stops. And Brendan Wilmington's able to avoid that. Actually, Reynolds got spun around there a little bit. bit of a mess right there. That second wreck could have easily been avoided, but they were all coming in, and that was a fast accident. And Troxel, Hunter Braxton getting the worst of it there. I think Braxton might be done. That's a lot of damage on that one machine, and I do believe he is done for the race after this one. And then Brandon Nelson up there as well. Also, I don't know if he'll be able to continue either. Those two guys have the most significant damage. And then, I think we also had something else happen because we saw Seth Cole here, along with Zach Winkle, have damage. I don't know where this occurred, but they were not involved in an accident at all. And these guys are going to end up being harmed by this one. William Brock as well also had damage. So these three guys right here, they might have failed to check up in time, which makes no sense. It's out. The caution's obviously out, and they had plenty of room. And Seth Cole came in there kind of hot, I think. Because these guys clearly checked up, and Seth Cole's still going. I don't know. This may have happened as they were coming. Now, I think it's going to happen here. Yep. Will Parrish again. He checked up, and then McShane had the check up, and Seth Cole did not react in time, and that caused a chain reaction with Winkle and William Brock, and that's going to hurt Seth Cole and William Brock the most. And then Ethan Lewis, I don't know, was Ethan Lewis caught up in an accident? I think he just went straight to the pit lane. I do these replays after I do the race, so I actually kind of forget what happened. Hey, let's go ahead and see what happened in real time, then get to the restart with Trey Wright leading this field here at Indianapolis. Let me get a little more context on what happened here. Dan Park really wide, and then Parrish just came in way too hot. It's a massive shot there for Dan Park, and then Fitzwater with nowhere to go. Actually, you know, Troxel didn't check up. He got caught up, and then everyone else. There's a chain reaction behind him. Ethan Lewis came straight down the pit lane. Hunter Braxton, I do believe, is going to be out. Ethan Lewis going to be on the tail end of the lead lap in that number 20 machine. And then you got Troxel back in there with damage. Christian Master also caught up. Dylan Young, Brandon Nelson. A lot of guys involved in that accident. And then, obviously, we saw what happened with Seth Cole, Zach Winkle later on. Winner off the pit lane was Trey Wright. Let's see what he can do here in this number 23 machine as he leads the field here at Indianapolis. We're going to restart with 13 laps to go here in the Indy 100k. We are back here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in the Indy 100k in the Wawa Pro Series. And it should be interesting because they came down the pit with 16 laps to go. However, we will be restarting with 13 laps to go. So, I don't know. It could get interesting there. This game doesn't understand the saving of fuel under caution that well. It still thinks you burn the same amount of fuel, at least in my experience with offline. It still seems to burn the same amount of fuel under caution as it does under the green flag, so this could get kind of tight, but Trey Wright is your race leader. Ethan Lewis here is going to be a problem because that car is not going to be going anywhere. He's on the tail end of the lead lap. Trey Wright, Vlad Prescott, Nathan Orman, Noah Clifton, Brendan Wilmington inside the top 5. And you see all the cars with damage back in here. Seth Cole, you see William Brock with damage there as well. Nathan Stapleton, I do believe, actually has a clean race car. Chris Reynolds, though, Ryan Durrani, Brandon Elson, Troxel, Christian Master were all caught up in that one. And then out of the race include Hunter Braxton, Dan Park, and Zachary Fitzwater, with Park and Fitzwater getting the worst of that accident. Here we go, 13 to go, and Trey Wright's going to have no trouble getting around Ethan Lewis, but Vlad Prescott will, and Jesse Turner's going to gain a lot of ground right there. But this is going to be a problem. Top 3 pull away, but everybody else trying to get around this 20 machine, and Vlad Prescott, who restarted in second, is already threatening to fall outside the top 10. It's one thing about this game that I would, and I know there is the better cautions, I can't get those things to work to save my life. I can thank Windows for trying to be all safe and smart with me. It blocks it all the time, and I can't get it to work, but hey, it's the name of the game, and it is just a video game with Vlad Prescott there. Along with Logan Williams and Zach Winkle, Prescott will finally move to the inside. Lewis is clearly like the slowest car on the track as well. He's slower than all these guys. Meanwhile, for the race lead, Trey Wright still holding on, but Nathan Orman had a run right there. Jesse Turner in the mix. Noah Clifton, Brendan Wilmington. How about Nathan Faden up here as well? And Will Parrish trying to hold on to that streak. It is 4th points-paying finish in 4 races. And Pri McShane trying to get her first points of the season here in the number 42. Trey Wright able to hold on to the race lead right there. Noah Clifton to 2nd. Around Nathan Orman, and you got Brendan Wilmington trying to take the podium position away from Orman right there. Nathan Faden also with a great run. Faden, really haven't seen much of him this season. Only 4 points on the year so far. But a good opportunity for the number 99 to have a shot, especially at a place like this, you know, in the old, you know, Pro Series, the old Rockstar Pro Series, Aero Electric Pro Series. The Indy 100k was one of the big races, and, you know, in all seriousness, that kind of still applies. I know the series technically isn't that series anymore, but it still kind of has some proponents of it. It's a mess right now, but hey, winning Indianapolis is a pretty big deal, and right now it does appear that it may only be one of these 2 guys who gets the race victory here at Indianapolis. Noah Clifton, a great run there. He's going to move to the inside and take the lead away from Trey Wright. Noah Clifton looking to possibly take the points lead, but Will Parrish, who is the points leader, is up to 3rd now. You got McShane inside the top 5. A great run for her right there. It has not been a good season, but she's finally fighting some momentum right here in Indianapolis. But there's the first ever winner on the channel, and the guy looking to win the 22nd career race. We'll have to see if he can pull that off here. He still has a great opportunity, and you got to think, too, will fuel mileage become a factor later on? It's very possible with 10 laps to go. Now you got Will Parrish here. Trey Wright going to be to his outside. And Parrish is looking fast. And Will Parrish has had a solid season. Not only is he pointing in every race, but 2 of those races have been inside the top 5. An average finishing position of 4.3. And he's looking to increase that average here today at Indianapolis as he goes up to 2nd. But Noah Clifton's also been a pretty solid driver, even though he only has that 1 win as his only points-paying run. I don't know if we should count him out for anything. We got some 3-wide action here. Nathan Faden, Trey Wright, Jesse Turner almost made it 3-wide at least. Trey Wright really going wide off the exit of turn 2. And Turner is going to be right back in the mix here as Faden moves up in the 99. Orman still holds the fastest lap, and he is still inside the top 10. So Orman holding on to that bonus point as of right now. And of course, every point in this series matters here in this Wawa Pro Series Championship. Jesse Turner may have a run on Nathan Faden off the exit of turn 4. But Faden's going to get that good push off the outside of the corner. We see that outside lean work very well off the exit of turn 4 here in Indianapolis. Will Parrish closing in even faster on Noah Clifton. If these guys go side by side, though, you got Faden, Turner, and Wilmington all in a line to possibly get up into this lead battle. Going to be interesting to see if any of these guys have a shot. I think the winner's going to be top 6, given and assuming we don't have any fuel mileage issues in this race, which it is possible. There goes Turner for 3rd on Nathan Faden. You know, Turner's another guy who's looking to possibly take this point seat away because comes in, tied for 3rd. Contact there between Wilmington and Faden off the exit of turn 3. That's going to be good for Jesse Turner. And now Turner wants to see Parrish and Clifton go after it for the race lead because that's going to give him a shot and moving up to those top 2 positions. There goes Will Parrish to the inside of Noah Clifton for the race lead. And they're side by side there, but they're not going to be side by side for long. Will Parrish takes it right away from Clifton, and that might have been a smart move out of Clifton because if they went side by side for too long, Turner might have jumped right into that lead battle. Nathan Faden in 4th. Trey Wright in 5th. And then you got Ryan Durrani looking to get around Brendan Wilmington for the 6th position. Ormond, Prescott, and Chris Reynolds holding on to the top 10. As of right now, McShane's going to be battling hard, though, for a top 10 run because she has yet to point this season, and an opportunity is right there for her. Top 3. Bit of gap between all of them, but we still have 6 laps to go at the line. Will Parrish still holding on. Noah Clifton, he's not going to let him get it easy, and neither will Jesse Turner. And we maybe see him. It might be between these 3 guys this season for this championship, at least early on. These are three guys who have been very strong. Noah Clifton still right there, but I will not count out Jesse Turner here in that number 17 because Turner is definitely one of the best drivers, if not the best driver in this field. For all the experience that he has behind the wheel and looking to become the all-time winningest driver on the channel right here. Looking to move past Nicholas Amadio and John Arndt, who he is currently tied with on the all-time wins list at 21 wins. Of course, that most recent victory came last week at Homestead, but this right here would put him at 22 career wins on the channel, which would be the most all-time for the first ever winner on the channel. But Clifton and Parrish have other ideas, and they might have some contact right there, which is going to open the door for Jesse Turner to move right into this battle for the race lead. 5 laps to go in the Indy 100k. Turner takes second away from Will Parrish. And Turner is going to close in on Clifton as well. Right there, but this may be too early. Going to give Clifton and Parrish a lot of time to get back in there, and I wouldn't count out Nathan Faden yet. Side by side for the race lead. It's going to be 4 laps to go next time by. How about Will Parrish? A really good run through turn number 3. And Clifton's going to fall back, but Parrish is going to be right there for the race lead. And Turner may not even lead this lap. Will Parrish with a huge run off of turn 4, and he is going to continue leading this race. So Will Parrish, the points leader, looking to get his first win of the season. There goes Clifton. He's going to make some contact there with Jesse Turner. Now Nathan Faden all of a sudden is going to take third away, and Turner falls back to 4th. So that right there was a 13-point swing in 1 lap for Jesse Turner. He went from being the race leader to going outside of the podium. So Will Parrish back out front. He has clearly been the strongest car in this race so far. But the big question is, will they be able to make it to the end? They came down with 16 laps to go. I mentioned at the top of the show about a 15-lap fuel run, but there were those caution laps as well. A lot of uncertainty right there. And even if this race stays green, or even if this race doesn't have any fuel mileage issue, I think there's a lot of uncertainty. I think any of these top 4 can still win this race. And that's especially going to be true if Clifton finds a way around Will Parrish right here. That might bring Nathan Faden right into this lead battle. We've seen a lot more passing in this race than we did in the sprint race yesterday, that's for sure. It's been a good one. Faden's going to close in on these guys, but Clifton was unable to hold the inside on Will Parrish. But, oh, that was close. Clifton almost got into Will Parrish through the corner. Turner's going to take third away from Faden, who had to check up there because those guys could not stay in the battle. 2 laps to go here in the Indy 100k for Will Parrish, but Noah Clifton, Jesse Turner right there. Remember, last week at Homestead, Jesse Turner led 1 lap, and that was the last one. Will he do the same here today in Indianapolis? He's actually yet to lead a lap in this race, even though he did hold the lead at one point. Will Parrish has actually stayed out front for a majority of this race. But Clifton is not going to let him have it easy, and neither will Turner. To the inside, Noah Clifton going to take it away from Will Parrish, and that is exactly what Jesse Turner wants to see on this final lap. Oh, but he might open the door for Faden to have a shot as well, and Faden's going to go for third as Clifton looks to take the lead away from Will Parrish. But Turner's now going to push Parrish on that outside lane so he can clear Faden, and now Turner's going to move to the inside and push Clifton as we see the white flag here in Indianapolis. Will Parrish the race leader, but Clifton has the inside in the turn 1. And Jesse Turner is right there. Will he get his 22nd career win, or will Noah Clifton get his 2nd win of the season and possibly take the points lead away? That's a tough one there for Will Parrish, who had a shot at extending his points lead, but it's going to narrow up right here with these 2 guys, more than likely going 1-2. Clifton holds on. Turner trying to take it away from the 21. He's got to get a good push right here. Will he move to the inside in turn 4? He will not, and just like yesterday, Jesse Turner does not have enough on the last lap, and he will finish runner-up. It's going to be Noah Clifton grabbing his 2nd win of the season. Noah Clifton wins at Indianapolis here in the Indy 100k. Fastest lap will go to Nathan Ormond. He does finish top 10, but barely right there in the 10th position. That's gotta hurt for Turner. He had that same situation yesterday right behind Logan Williams and could not get around the race leader. But still, a good amount of points for Turner in this championship, and it's pretty clear and obvious that Turner's going to be a threat for this title. Same with Will Parrish as well, but he did not get the podium. Nathan Faden will get the podium right there as he finishes in the 3rd position. It's Clifton, Turner, Faden, Parrish, Durrani, Trey Wright, Prescott, McShane with her first points of the season, and Chris Reynolds and Nathan Orman with 2 points today as he gets the fastest lap and does manage to finish top 10. But there's your winner. Noah Clifton gets it done here in the Indy 100k. That was a fun race, no doubt about it, and a good one at that. Noah Clifton with his 2nd race victory of the season. Wasn't as close as his first race victory, but how about winning at Daytona and Indianapolis in the same season and early on in the season as well. So Clifton definitely going to be a threat in this championship. His 2 top 10 finishes have been race victories, so it's all or nothing for Clifton. But hey, you get 25 points for the win, and now Clifton's going to have 50 points towards the championship, which is going to be more than Will Parrish, because Will Parrish only receives 12 points with his 4th place finish, and he had 36 coming in, and 36 plus 12 is 48. So Noah Clifton, I believe, is going to take this points lead away. Jesse Turner is going to be right up there as well. He received 18 points in this one. He had 27 coming in. That is going to be 45 points for Jesse Turner coming into Willow Springs next weekend. That's how they're going to line up for the sprint race. That sprint race could be interesting because you might see guys like Clifton Turner and Faden actually get some bonus points in that one. And then those guys up front may also get the good lap times. And in the feature race, those guys may end up finishing well as well. So going to be interesting next week at Willow Springs for the first road course of the season. So Clifton, Turner, Faden, Parrish, Durrani, Wright, Prescott, McShane, Reynolds, and Ormond. The top 10 all receiving championship points, with Nathan Ormond grabbing the fastest lap. Should be a fun one next weekend in the Willow Springs Grand Prix, or whatever the heck it's called. I don't even remember. But either way, thank you guys so much for watching. Try to do better next time. Noah Clifton, your race winner here in Indianapolis. Here are the points in the Wawa Pro Series after 4 races. And we'll see you guys next week at Willow Springs. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys later.